Logan, I don't know how to do a cold open for this video. Do you think I should do like a really intricate cold open, or do you think we just go to the episode? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jank Yard. I'm Isaac.
I'm Logan.
And as always, we're here to bring you another deck that will inevitably go 0-4, but will look pretty cool doing it. Logan, you ready?
I think.
4 copies of Doom Foretold. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-land, non-token permanent. If that player can't, they discard a card. They lose 2 life. You draw a card. You gain 2 life. You create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Then you sacrifice Doom Foretold. So every single turn, whether it's yours or your opponent's, you are sacrificing something. This is a great way to keep the board clear, a great way to keep your opponent on the ropes, because inevitably a lot of decks that are sort of a mid-range or a control shell either can't sacrifice the things and you're getting value, or are slowly sacrificing things and just can't keep up with the marching pace that Doom Foretold has. There are a lot of cards that go very, very well with Doom Foretold. We're going to start with 3 copies of Fatal Push.
I mean, it's just a good removal spell.
Right, I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. We're going to play 4 copies of Hopeless Nightmare. Hopeless Nightmare makes your opponent discard cards and lose life. Also, when you put it into the graveyard, you get a Scry 2. So inevitably, you're going to have to sacrifice it with Doom Foretold. You get the Scry 2. Pretty solid.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing you'd want in a Doom Foretold, because you're not allowed to sacrifice tokens.
Yep.
So random small things like this are the best thing to sacrifice.
Speaking about small random things you want to sacrifice, Spirited Companion. 1 and a white for a 1/1. When it enters, draw a card.
Yeah.
Drawing cards is what you need. It's pretty good.
I'd argue something like Thraben Inspector or Novice Inspector would also be decent.
Moving on to the 3-drop slot, we've got a little bit of a heavy hitter here in 2 copies of Temporary Lockdown. There's a lot of small aggro running around in Pioneer right now. Obviously, you don't want to sacrifice it, but getting your temporary lockdowns down to stop the opponent for a little bit might help.
That seems interesting. Would temporary lockdown be good? Because you're exiling your things that are 2 or less as well?
Yeah, you can start with your small things first as you're going through your stuff. But we've seen a lot of Amalias. We've seen a lot of Phoenix decks out there. Not even Phoenix is what you're exiling. You're exiling the Ledger Shredders. But Temporary Lockdown kind of stops them. Another card that we have in there is 3 copies of Treacherous Blessing.
Enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose 1 life. And when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, you sacrifice it. It's okay, so yeah, all right. So it's 3 mana, draw 3 cards in black. A better divination.
We've got 3 copies of Oath of Kaya. Shoot the opponent for a little, gain a little bit of life, keep yourself on that upswing a little bit. And then the last main card I want to talk about is 3 copies of Demonic Pact.
It's insanely good value, and you can Doom Foretold sack it before you lose the game.
Yeah, it can sit on the battlefield for 4 turns before you have to sacrifice it. So we play all those cards, and we play 24 lands. You might count that as 50 cards. The other 10 are what make the deck janky. And it's what I have added my own spin on it. Because I've looked at Doom Foretold lists when getting ready for this video, and I've got some cool decks that popped up. You know, they use a lot of the same cards. They have a lot of the same game plan.
I was going to say, Treacherous Blessing and Demonic Pact and Hopeless Nightmare are pretty much auto-includes if you're doing Doom Foretold.
Yep. And all of those cards are 4 mana or less, which means we can grab them and cast them with one of our 4 copies of Beseech the Mirror. So Beseech the Mirror, you can sacrifice... Oh, what's the bargain?
It's bargain. It's artifact enchantment token.
Yeah, so we play a lot of enchantments. You can sacrifice any of your enchantments to Beseech the Mirror. You can get bargain off on Beseech the Mirror pretty easily. We got 4 copies. We got 6 cards left. This is what I call my Beseech package. If you draw Beseech the Mirror, you have 6 different things you can grab with this, as well as anything else in your deck. Jank starts now, baby. 1 copy of Case of the Stashed Skeleton.
Enters, create a 2/1 skeleton and suspect it. To solve it, you control no suspected skeletons. And when it's solved, you can spend 2 mana and sacrifice the case to search your library for a card, put it in your hand, and shuffle. Really easy thing to get with us. It's a token. We can't sack it with Doom Foretold, but we don't necessarily need to. Exactly. I assume even if that's the case, Beseech the Mirror can sack the skeleton.
It can. It's a token. You can also just attack with the skeleton. This is one of our few ways that we can actually get a creature onto the battlefield other than our 1/1 dog.
Who needs creatures?
Next card I want to go over is Valky, God of Lies. You can cast Tibalt with Beseech the Mirror. Valky is also just a pretty good card on its own for the 2 mana that it costs. But inevitably, if you're ahead of the game and you have Beseech the Mirror, you can cast Valky and keep yourself even further ahead and just go.
Yeah, I mean, Tibalt's just good value. I mean, he's giving you guaranteed impulses. Even if he gets removed, you have cards you can play.
We're going to skip the 3-drop card for now. We'll come back to that in a second.
Okay.
4-drop card. I've got 1 copy of Kaya's Wrath. It's a board wipe for everything. Get you a little bit of life. We're going to skip the next 4-drop. We're going to go to an X-cost spell. I got 1 copy of Dance of the Manse.
Ooh.
We're splashing a little bit of blue, which in the deck, I thought I added more ways to do blue, but currently there's not. So you'd have to do it in your land base. You have to find some way to make treasures. There's a lot of things that make treasures. You can probably find a treasure pretty easily, or just splash a few blue lands. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, you just throw in the duels.
But inevitably, we're sacrificing all of our stuff. They're all going to go in the graveyard. We can Dance the Manse for a bunch at the end of the game, get all of them back. They're all 4/4s, and everybody around you goes, hell yeah. We got 2 cards left. The 4 mana is Leyline of the Guild Pact.
Why?
Because we're playing 1 copy of Happily Ever After.
Hey, all right.
Do you want an out when you can't get your opponent down on life? Well, here's your alternate win con. All you need is Leyline of the Guild Pact and Happily Ever After. We have everything else everywhere in the deck that you need for it.
So, okay, hold on. This means that the only way we can cast Leyline of the Guild Pact is if it's in our starting hand or if we Beseech the Mirror it.
Yes. Your only way you're casting it is Valky, opening hand, Beseech the Mirror. It's probably not good.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny.
It's kind of weird. And you'd have to do it twice. You'd have to play well, I mean, I guess Happily Ever After you could also just draw into. That one's white. You can at least cast that normally.
You know, looking back at my list now after I've just explained it to you, I'm realizing that I missed a few things. I don't have any artifacts in here.
This is starting to seem really stupid.
I think it seems fun.
It's fun, but it's never going to work.
Okay, so how would you make it better?
Take out Happily Ever After.
Then we're just playing a boring deck.
No, but Happily Ever After is a card that you need to build around. And you're not building around Happily Ever After, you're building around Doom Foretold.
Okay.
I really like your idea of just having a Beseech the Mirror package. I just think Happily Ever After is a stupid option for it.
Yeah, I wanted a Beseech the Mirror package, and I found a few cards that work for it. And I'm sure you could find a few more that work for it, but I wanted a little bit of spice. And I kept looking at it, and I was like, there's spice in there somewhere. Got to mangle it together, but we're here.
Okay, so we can, if we do a Beseech the Mirror package, we can play it kind of similar to how Green Devo, before Karn was banned, had a package in the sideboard where you would play Karn and then just get whatever you needed at the time out of the sideboard. So you could do stuff like that.
1 copy of Stonebrain.
Honestly, sure. Or Pithing Needle, or stupid crap. Like, it's got to be like 4 or less, right? Mm-hmm. What you search for. And honestly, most of what you're playing is already 4 or less.
Yep.
So if you've already got cards that are a good toolkit that Beseech can already grab, then like Beseech grabs Doom Foretold.
It does.
So like that's probably the reason people play it in the deck.
It grabs that. It grabs Demonic Pact. It grabs Temporary Lockdown.
It's a weird toolkit deck. It feels very weirdly all over the place.
Right, and I liked the slow and steady grindy game of Doom Foretold, and it just seemed like a pretty good spot for a Beseech the Mirror package.
Beseech the Mirror plays it grabs any card. And you can play it if it's 4 or less.
Yeah, if you've bargained.
We're playing 1 copy of Harmless Offering.
We're playing 1 copy of Harmless Offering.
Okay. Demonic Pact. After you have chosen 2 modes, you can give an opponent your Demonic Pact with Harmless Offering. And because it stays on the battlefield, those 2 modes have thus already been chosen. And then they can only choose the other one and lose the game. The beef would be you would have to keep Doom Foretold off of the board.
That's what
otherwise
I was just
they
thinking.
would automatically sack it. And honestly, Doom Foretold by itself is just enough of a nuisance, and you can choose to sack the Doom Foretold.
You can. That's what I was just thinking about.
So if you're going to be Beseeching the Mirror on your turn anyways, you could really easily set that up, I think.
Yeah.
So this could be kind of that's kind of a funny setup. I think if it's just the one copy of Harmless Offering, that's funny.
Okay. So we will take Happily Ever After out of the deck.
Yeah.
We'll put in Harmless Offering.
That's pretty funny.
There is one more card I wanted to include in the Dance of the Manch-esque package. It's from Bloomburrow, so shout out Bloomburrow.
Hey.
New set. Lunar Convocation.
Oh yeah, hold up.
I think that card might be pretty decent in this deck. Not game-breaking, not really anything solid, but I think it could be good.
It's not too bad. It's a card draw engine. It doesn't have the same like Doom Foretold-esque value of
It doesn't.
like leaving it gives you stuff.
There's a lot of incidental life gain and life
is.
loss in this deck.
There is. There's Oath of Kaya. There's honestly several. Isn't it like
Demonic
several of the
Pact
other?
does it.
Hopeless Nightmare loses your opponent life.
Mm-hmm.
Treacherous Blessing. If we cast a spell, we lose life. I think I would run a little bit more incidental life gain for that to be an include, but that's still pretty funny.
Yeah, that's a definite idea. It's just catering the deck to the Convocation, but it would need to be a different sort of build around for it. Something that works with Doom Foretold, but also works with it.
Man, Doom Foretold's funny.
It is.
I remember when that card came out, and I was like, this card sucks.
Yes, this card's slow as hell. And 4 mana, we're never seeing that played. Lo and behold, here we are.
Here we are, building a deck that's still not good.
That's fine. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We really do appreciate you viewing. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment and follow us on Instagram and TikTok and where else you can find us. I think that's it, though. I think it's just those 3. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah.
Check out our Mox field.
Can you say that more aggressively like a YouTuber?
You said like a YouTuber, and that completely cut out everything I was about to do. Check out our Mox field as well, where we post our deck lists once we're done finishing them and putting them up on the website.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.